Hey guys, and welcome to another Battlefield 4 video. Today I have some gameplay from the brand new map Flood Zone that was revealed yesterday on YouTube. Now a lot of YouTubers did get a chance to play this map in Sweden or in LA. I myself didn't get a chance to go across, but I have been given this gameplay by Conqueror HD. Now I do have 20 minutes of footage, so today's video isn't going to be all of this gameplay in one go, but if you would like to see a second video with some more gameplay from this map, tell me in the comments below. Now I will say straight off the bat, this gameplay isn't the best gameplay I've ever seen, but you do get a chance to really see what the map looks like and see how the map works. So if you do want to see more of this gameplay, tell me in the comments below. Now yesterday, as well as information and gameplay from this map Flood Zone, there was actually previews of gameplay from every single map in the game. Now this was actually not allowed to be on the internet, so as you can expect, it was taken down by EA from YouTube very quickly. Now some of you guys may have had a chance to see this gameplay. I got a chance to watch it. Unfortunately, for obvious reasons, I can't show you that gameplay, but I can tell you some information I did gather from watching it. Now of course we know with the release of the full game we are going to get 10 maps, and they include Dawnbreaker, Flood Zone, Goldmud Railway, Hainan Resort, Langkang Dam, Operation Locker, Rogue Transmission, Zavod 311, and of course Siege of Shanghai and Paracel Storm. Now of course we've all put many hours in playing Siege of Shanghai in the beta. We've all seen a lot of gameplay of Paracel Storm from the alpha at E3 and at Gamescom. I myself and some others got a chance to play Zavod 311 at Eurogamer on the Xbox One. I have told you guys some stuff about that map before. It does remind me of Pipeline from Call of Duty 4, if any of you guys can remember that map. It's set in a Russian forest, a big tank factory, lots of abandoned tanks, big warehouses to wander through. The setup is very similar to Operation Firestorm. You've got 3 or 4 large warehouses spread around the area that work very well for conquest. So if you can imagine Operation Firestorm in a forest environment in Russia, you're almost on the right lines. And that map I thought was a very good and quite refreshing style map that I've not seen in Battlefield before. So I myself am looking forward to getting more chance to play Zavod 311 when the game is released. And of course we've now seen a lot of gameplay from this map Flood Zone, which you are looking at here. Now this is an urban based map, with the Levolution being the destruction of the dam, which then floods the streets and turns it into a naval combat area in an urban environment. So this is a very revolutionary map, not only for Battlefield but for FPS genres in general. The idea of having a map that you can now totally flood is something we've never seen in games before. But what about the other maps we saw short previews of yesterday? Well, one of the ones that really stood out to me was Dawnbreaker. Now this is a map we have seen and heard very little of. Now as you can guess by the name Dawnbreaker, it isn't set in the middle of the day, it is set very early morning. It's kind of still quite dark. It reminds me of Tyran Highway, the kind of nighttime effect we saw in that. Not the middle of the night, but it is very dark still. But obviously it no longer has that horrible blue tint we saw in Battlefield 3. So your line of sight and vision is a lot easier compared to Tyran Highway, but it is still set in a more dark environment, not in the bright sunshine as we see in most of the maps we have seen so far. So this adds a new aspect to the game, of course. The nighttime map is nothing new to Battlefield, but it is something we haven't seen much of in the Battlefield 4 maps so far. Now in terms of the environment, this map is very similar to Siege of Shanghai. You're in a city environment with tall skyscrapers to one side and the open seafront to the other. Now of course, being at night time, all the skyscrapers are lit up, all the lights are on, they do look pretty cool and impressive, and then you've got the very dark seafront or waterfront to your other side. So it is very similar to the setup of Siege of Shanghai, but that nighttime environment with all the lights turned on the skyscrapers is a pretty cool effect. Now again, this map does have some similarities to Tyran Highway. It does feel like you're on the edge of the city. You've got these large motorway bridges going over the player's head, leading into the city centre. Now moving on to another map we have seen and heard very little of, called Hainan Resort. Now I hope I'm pronouncing that correct, but this map to me reminds me of a mix of Valparaiso of Bad Company 2, if you can remember that map, and Gulf of Oman. Now this is a holiday resort, as you can guess by the name. You've got palm trees everywhere. It's a very green and rocky environment. We've got a large hotel in the centre of the map and lots of small tiny little islands gathered around it. So this is on the coastline, as you can expect. Again, we've got a large hotel. There are lots of other buildings as well. It does actually remind me a little bit of Sharkey Peninsula in the way it's laid out, with the kind of smaller buildings and then one larger building, which is obviously going to be the pinnacle moment of the map, maybe the final MCOM when you're playing Rush. But it does have that feel of Gulf of Oman by the coast, spread along the coastline, but also Valparaiso with its palm trees and its rocky and green environment. Now the final map we have seen and heard very little of is called Langkang Dam. Now this map is the spitting image of Laguna Presa of Bad Company 2. We've got palm trees, a very jungle based environment, lots of buildings, and of course a very large dam. Now what makes this map different to Flood Zone? Well, once again the Levolution is the destruction of the dam, but this time there isn't a large amount of water behind the dam to come flooding through the map. Now actually on this map you can get either side of the dam. You can actually walk through underneath the hydroelectric pumps or the rivers that lead underneath the dam and get to either side of the dam. Now on one side of the dam of course we have the waterfront with the electric buildings, the hydroelectric power plant. On the other side we have a large river and trees and forest area behind it, so as I said it is very similar to Laguna Presa. Now after seeing all of these maps, as you can tell, I've been making a lot of comparisons to Bad Company 2, not to mention Gold Mud Railway, which we have seen gameplay of, which for me is very similar to Heavy Metal that we saw in BC2, so far it looks like they have taken a lot of inspiration from the Bad Company 2 maps. Now personally I think that is a good thing. I very much enjoyed Bad Company 2, I thought the maps worked very well, and I thought they had a lot of variation, especially in comparison to Battlefield 3. If we look at the maps we've got so far in Battlefield 4, we've got Operation Locker taking place very close quarters in the snow. We've got Gold Mud Railway, open fields, lots of space. We've got things like Dawnbreaker taking place in the cities at night time. So it looks like we've got a lot more variation in Battlefield 4 than we saw in the original maps of Battlefield 3. But now I want to hear from you guys in the comments below. Out of all the maps we've seen so far, which do you think looks the most interesting? When the game is released later this week, which map do you intend on jumping onto straight away? Now before I go, if any of you guys have interest in winning yourself a RAZER gaming PC with some pretty cool RAZER gaming gear, all you have to do is enter the competition in the description below, enter your email address, and you will be within a chance of winning. Now once again, if you did enjoy this video, please hit me up with a like, it does help me out a lot. But in the meantime guys, thank you for watching, and I will see you soon.